Hey guys, good day to you.
Good day or evening, no matter what part of the world you're in. We've got your back today. Hey, early on in my media days, I noticed that there were really only two ways to get to number one in your space, regardless of the industry. And today we're going to break down those two strategies and exactly how to avoid pain, right? Because one of those strategies is painful. Mm-hmm. The other is perpetual in a good way, right? So we'll talk about those strategies, break down how to avoid the pain that millions of people go through every year with marketing their business.
Yep, we've heard these words a million times if we've heard them once. Hey, if I just had more leads, my marketing just doesn't work. And when we're not getting enough leads in business, then we're immediately think that we need to do more marketing, all right? Or that we need to try a different type of marketing. Now, that strategy is how all the companies who sell the marketing platforms that are the shiny things that catch your attention all the times, that's how they get filthy rich.
Yeah. Let's talk about that for a moment, because we see that all the time. When people get on the phone with our team and talk about, looking at their brand and how to position them differently and have, some of the changes we're going to be talking about today, it's often, I've already tried this, I've tried that, I've tried 8, 10, 15 different things and none of it worked, right? Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what we mean with that. Because marketing is a big word and it is very confusing sometimes, especially the difference between marketing and branding. Okay.
Yeah. The real problem with it is everybody thinks they know what it is, but we're going to get to that, because I was one of those people at one time too.
Yeah. So when you think about the marketing platforms, all the people out there selling all the different, shiny things, right? They're actually selling you a vehicle, not a solution. Okay. Let me explain what I mean by that. Years ago, I was in the media industry. I spent almost 2 decades in the media world. And right after that 2-decade stint, I started a consulting company where I consulted traditional media, that's newspaper, television, radio, on how to utilize digital media products to help their clients solve their problems. So in other words, I would go in and train the salespeople. Hey, when you go out to meet with your client, instead of just selling them TV commercials, sell them a solution. What are you trying to help them solve within those TV commercials? Well, it never failed. I would get on the phone with them, or they'd come into the office and I'd sit down and say, okay, how's it going? What did you find out? Well, I found out, this client needs this and this client was interested in this. Okay, what are you pitching to them? And they'd say, well, I'm pitching, we have a new package out and it's 40 commercials this week, and then it includes just a few overnights. And I thought on the side, if they had a little more money, I would pitch them a weather sponsorship. And I said, nope, stop right there. I didn't ask you, what are you selling them? I said, what are you helping them solve? Okay, you can use those things as a vehicle to carry the message that helps them solve a problem. But what is the problem you're helping them solve, and how are you helping them solve it? Not the vehicle you're using to carry the solution. What is the solution? And it was so frustrating to me that literally, I'm just going to be completely upfront with you guys, I left that. I did that kind of consulting for about 6 years, which is probably 5 too many. And because I could not penetrate the thought process of a very old regime in the media world. It's just like, I'm going to sell packages. I'm going to sell sponsorships. I'm going to sell widgets, right? They could not embrace, now some could, but most could not, the theory of selling a solution. Okay. Mm-hmm. And that is what we're talking about today. Okay. So the business owners who were number one in their space, let's go right back to the topic of today. There's 2 ways to get to number one, right? The business owners that were number one in their space through all my years of working in the advertising and marketing industry were doing one of 2 things. They were either outspending or they were out marketing their competition. And there's a big difference between those two things.
Yeah, let's look at the outspending strategy. Those who had the money just threw more of it at their marketing. When one is good, 8 must be better, right? Those are generally the people who don't realize that their marketing was just name recognition. I mean, that effectively is all it boils down to. There wasn't any strategy to it.
Let's get the name out as many times as possible.
Yeah, and remember, the name isn't enough for sound marketing strategy. It isn't. Your customers need to remember what the name stands for, what's different about the name. The truth is, outspending strategy does work for some people, and it has worked for other people. I used to work with a guy, and he was totally convinced if you threw enough money at something, you would solve the problem. That's just the way it was, right? I think that's ignorant because why would you waste the money just to waste it? It doesn't make any sense. That is one way that you can get there. You can be a Zillow. Why do you know Zillow? Right? I'm in a real estate business. Why do people know Zillow? Because Zillow has enough money to waste. That's really what it boils down to. But ask yourself, who wants to spend more money on marketing just to be a part of the noise and hope that someone remembers your name? And I'm not one of those people.
Yeah, exactly. Which brings us to the other side of the coin, the out marketing strategy. Okay. And what we mean by that is marketing with a clear and focused message of how you're different and what that means to your customer. What we're really talking about today is the difference between more marketing and meaningful marketing.
Honestly, I practiced the more marketing approach for years, nearly 2 decades before I met Tanya. And then I learned the difference. She taught me the difference. Back then, she taught me, they call it spray and pray marketing, right? And who wants to do that? I don't want to do that anymore. I quit doing it 10 years ago. My company has continued to grow year over year over year, even in a recession. And it's easy trap to fall into. I can definitely attest that it's a very expensive one also. I spent so much money trying different things, and if that didn't work, it was just pretty clear to me I should try another thing, right? And or I should just continue to spend more, just like we talked about in category number 1. And this really came into focus for me when Tanya started pointing out all the commercials and ads that make no sense. Now I sit on the couch watching TV at night, right? And now we're paying for platforms and watching commercials. Used to, we just had to watch the commercials and the TV was free. I don't know. We all got sucked into the trap somehow. But the problem with that is just start paying attention to other ads and see how terrible they are. Literally start noting to yourself and whoever you're watching TV with, what did that commercial even mean? Like, what did they even, you're going to be surprised if you start paying attention to it.
Yeah. A lot of times I'll look at Michael and say, what just happened? What was that? Think about Super Bowl commercials, okay? According to an NBC executive this fall, NBC was selling 2022, or last fall actually, NBC was selling 2022 Super Bowl ads for record deals, closing them at an average of $6.5 million per 30-second commercial, okay? And how many of those commercials do you remember right now from the Super Bowl? How many did you even understand?
Did you even know what they meant or what they were supporting or what it was that they were trying to sell or what was supposed to be memorable?
And how many caused you to take action on those, right? Meaningful marketing is really missing in today's world. And remember, meaningful marketing starts with going back to those 5 fundamental questions that every great brand must answer. First, who do you serve? How do you serve them? What qualifies you to serve them? How does it make their life better? And what makes you different from everyone else also trying to serve that same customer? If you answer those questions and put that into your marketing in a very concise and focused manner, you absolutely will go from more marketing and spending too much to a more precise, concise, and focused arena of meaningful marketing. And that, my friends, is when your profit will soar.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, if you feel like your brand could use some more clarity, especially if you're involved in a lot of projects and potential revenue streams that you've just got sitting on the shelf, things that you've already worked hard on, you have sweat equity in or money equity in, but they're just sitting there and not doing anything for you. You're struggling to rein all of those in. We started a Facebook group to help people like you, people like us, crack the code on things just like that. And so we'd love for you to join it, because we know that you'd have a lot to add to that and a lot to take away from it. It's called Build Your Business Star Brand. It's our Facebook group. I want you to join it. I encourage you to do so. We talk about stuff like this all the time in that group, and the difference in where my company was. Keep in mind, my company's 30 years old. For 20 of those years, I made a living. For the last 10 of those years, I've made a fortune. And I've done it with these principles that we're talking about. You have to do these things systematically, and we can help you do it. We'd love to hear from you.
I like the way you phrase that.
Yeah.
For 20 years, you made a living. For the last 10, you made a fortune.
That's true.
Yep. I'm proud to have been a small part of that.
But a large part of it. That's why I sit here every day with this. It's not just because she's beautiful.
Now you're being too sweet. I'm suspicious. Just kidding. All right, guys. Appreciate you. Thank you for taking this time with us. And if you take just one more second and hit that subscribe button, we would love it, because we can continue bringing awesome stuff like this to you every Tuesday, like we've been doing for a while now. So we love it, and we appreciate the time you spend with us. And coming into this week, happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Absolutely.
Count your blessings, because they are far greater than you even realize.
That's right. And we hope y'all have a really good one wherever you are, and a safe one, of course. And listen, we know here at Brand Face, we do this for prosperity, and we know that prosperity favors the bold. So we say be bold, folks, especially with your brand. And it's never too late to get started. Let's do this.
All right.
Thank you.
See ya after Thanksgiving. Bye, guys.